What if one of the most basic ideas we have about our lives is completely wrong? We're about to explore a way of thinking that flips a core assumption right on its head. And honestly, it might just change how you see, well, everything. You know how we always talk about moving through time? We say life is a journey, a path we walk, that we're progressing from one point to another. But what if that's not what's happening at all? What if we've got the entire dynamic backwards? So here's the big idea, and it's a simple but really profound switch. Instead of us moving through time, what if time is what moves through us? Suddenly, we become the still point in the universe, and time becomes the thing in motion. Now, this isn't just playing with words, trust me. This changes the whole game. All right, let's dive into the core metaphor of this whole model. We're gonna have to start thinking of ourselves not as travelers, but more like landmarks. Okay, I want you to picture this. From the moment you're born, your body is like a marble sculpture. It's a fixed point in your own personal universe, right? A blank canvas just waiting for life to leave its mark. You aren't actually going anywhere. Now, imagine time is this constant flowing river. It's the active force here. It just rushes past the sculpture of you and it carries everything with it. Every joy, every heartbreak, every single season. So in this view, life isn't a journey you take. It's the process of this river sculpting the marble. Okay, so if time is the river, how exactly does it leave its mark on us? I mean, it's got to be more than just getting older, right? Well, yeah, there's a really specific mechanism at play here. It pretty much works like a chain reaction. See, the river of time isn't empty. It's carrying these pre-existing events, almost like packages floating downstream. When one of them reaches us, it triggers an emotion. And that emotion, it's not just a fleeting feeling. It leaves behind a physical and psychic imprint, what we can call a residue, that literally shapes our bodies over our entire lifetime. And this idea of residue, it isn't just some poetic term. It has real tangible effects. We're talking about the actual reshaping of neural pathways in your brain. We're talking about hormonal surges that leave lasting imprints on your body's chemistry. It's the way we hold trauma or joy in our very muscles. Our bodies literally become a living, breathing archive of every major emotion we've ever experienced. And you know, while this specific model feels pretty unique, pieces of it have actually echoed throughout history. Philosophers, scientists, and spiritual traditions have all kind of touched on these same themes, from Einstein's block universe where all of time coexists at once to Carl Jung's concept of the emotional shadow. So this idea isn't entirely new. It's more like a fresh synthesis of some really timeless insights. Okay, so at this point, you might be thinking this all sounds a little fatalistic, right? I mean, if all these events are just fixed and time just happens to us, where's our free will in all this? Well, this is where the most important twist comes in. This is the key question, isn't it? Are we just helpless statues being eroded by a river we can't possibly control? The answer, thankfully, is a definite no. There is a much deeper element at play here. This is where we find our power, intentional awareness. It's that part of you, that quiet observer inside, that is simply aware of being aware. It doesn't rewrite the events in the river, but it acts like a subtle rudder, influencing which of those preset events we actually encounter and activate in our lives. Think about it with a modern parallel. Imagine time as this massive, complex stream of potential experiences, a kind of tensor flow of possibilities. Our awareness acts like an AI navigating that data landscape. Our focus, our intentions, those are the signals that guide our path and may determine which experiences get pulled from the stream to become our unique story. So let's bring all this home. Let's see what this new lens means for the biggest questions of all: how we should live our lives, and how we should face the end. This quote really just gets right to the heart of it. In this model, aging, the erosion of the body, it isn't a failure or a tragedy. It's actually the most essential part of the sculpting process. It's a liberation from that initial unetched block of marble. This completely reframes how we think about death. It stops being this abrupt, tragic end or loss. Instead, it becomes the final, beautiful completion of a work of art. The moment the sculpture is finally finished, holding the deep imprint of every single moment, emotion, and season that ever flowed past it. And this perspective offers an incredible amount of compassion. For ourselves, it frees us from the regret of trying to control a river that was never controllable in the first place. Life becomes about how consciously we experience the flow. And for our loved ones, it allows us to see their life as a complete journey, a finished masterpiece, rather than something that was tragically cut short. So remember, you are not just a passive sculpture. You're the quiet observer, the navigator. Your awareness is the rudder in this great river of time. The currents are real, for sure, but where you set your intention still matters immensely. So the only question left is, where are you choosing to steer?